Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because honestly, we're tackling one of the most exciting, challenging, and just straight up rewarding journeys you can take. We're talking about how to grow a business from absolute zero. Think about it. Every single massive global corporation you interact with today started out as just a tiny thought in someone's head. Pretty wild, right? Today, we're going to break down the exact step-by-step process of taking a big dream from literally nothing to something incredibly tangible. Look at the biggest companies in the world today. They all share one common, almost unbelievable origin story. Seriously, have you ever wondered how these massively successful businesses started from absolutely nothing? It's kind of daunting, isn't it? I mean, standing there with nothing more than a simple idea, maybe a maxed out credit card, and a tremendously big dream, the gap between that small start and massive success seems totally uncrossable. But as we'll see, it's actually crossed by following a very specific, repeatable structure. Okay, let's dive right into this blueprint. Today we're covering 5 essential steps. 1. The power of an idea. 2. Knowing your true customer. 3. Building an online presence. 4. Quality, consistency, and reputation. And finally, number 5, reinvesting for future growth. Let's get to it. Alright, kicking things off with section 1, the power of an idea, which is all about starting with absolute clarity. The foundation of our entire blueprint begins right here at step 1, getting that clear business idea. Before you even think about marketing, before you try to sell a single thing or reinvest any profits, you've got to have undeniable clarity about what it is you're actually setting out to do. Now, the key here is to shift your focus from what you want to do to the actual value you can provide. When you're choosing your idea, you need to ask yourself these 3 core questions. Number 1, what problem can I solve? Number 2, what specific product or service can I offer to solve it? And 3, who exactly are my customers? Let's be real. People don't buy a drill because they just really want a drill, right? They buy it because they need a hole in their wall. It's that simple. The better you solve a problem, the faster your business is going to grow. And that brings us perfectly to our next phase, section 2, knowing your true customer. This is step 2, understanding your audience. Because let's face it, an idea is literally nothing without someone to serve. Once you've got that clear idea in your back pocket, step 2 is all about shifting your focus outward. It's time to understand the actual people you're solving these problems for. Now, here's a massive pitfall a lot of people fall into. There is a huge difference between what customers abstractly say they need or like versus what they are actually willing to hand over their hard-earned money for. You've got to figure out both. You need to dig into what their desires are, absolutely. But you have to validate those desires commercially. If they love your idea but totally refuse to pull out their wallets for it, well, you haven't started a business. You've basically just started a really expensive hobby. So how do you bridge that gap? You listen. Actively listening to customer feedback so you can tweak and improve your product based on what they actually need. That is exactly how you create value they'll pay for. It's a direct correlation here. When you tailor your offering to what they explicitly tell you they want, they're happy. And happy customers, they turn into repeat customers. That right there is the lifeblood of any growing business, mostly because keeping an existing customer is always cheaper than hunting down a new one. Now that we've got an idea and an audience, we're transitioning to the 3rd stage. Section 3, building an online presence. Or step 3, going digital and building trust. Step 3 is where the magic really starts to happen. This is where we bring your validated idea and your target audience together out there in the digital world. In today's landscape, creating an online presence isn't just optional. It's absolutely foundational. Social media platforms are hands down some of the most powerful marketing tools ever invented. You've got giants like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube right at your fingertips. But hey, remember, you aren't just there to shout at people with a digital megaphone. Nobody likes that. Think of these platforms as a digital handshake. They are essential places to share incredibly useful content, actually interact, and build a real relationship. Because ultimately, the crucial point boils down to this. People buy from businesses they trust. That's it. Social media, your website, your digital marketing campaigns, all of these are simply modern tools for building that very old-fashioned, vital trust. If you provide genuine value online way before you ever ask for a sale, you establish yourself as a trustworthy authority in your space. So, once you've earned that initial trust, how on earth do you keep it? That brings us to our 4th step. Section 4, quality, consistency, and reputation. I like to call this the true engine for growth. Step 4 requires an ongoing, totally relentless daily commitment. Look, getting a customer for the first time is a fantastic milestone. Don't get me wrong, but maintaining the level of quality required to keep them around, that's what actually builds a solid company. Maintaining quality and consistency means you always strive to provide the absolute best product or service possible. It really just comes down to these non-negotiable operational standards. Deliver on time. Be honest. Treat your customers with respect. These shouldn't be things you only do on special occasions. This has to be your everyday baseline. If you promise a client something by Tuesday, guess what? It arrives by Tuesday. If you mess up, and you will, we all do, you own it honestly. Trust takes years to build, but man, it takes just seconds to break. When you execute those daily actions over and over again, something pretty magical happens. Consistency builds a rock-solid reputation. Think of it like compound interest, but for goodwill. A customer has a great experience, so they tell a friend. That friend has a fantastic experience, they tell two more. That reputation organically takes over, and that, my friends, is what truly helps a business grow way beyond its initial boundaries. Which naturally leads us to the final and honestly perhaps the most strategic step of our blueprint today. Section 5, reinvesting for future growth, which is step 5, evolution and learning. The journey absolutely doesn't end just because the money starts rolling in. This final trial is all about long-term sustainability and continuous evolution, rather than just kicking your feet up and resting on those initial earnings. And this brings up a massive temptation for almost all new business owners. You really have to weigh the immediate gratification of spending all your new earnings against the smart, long-term strategy of investing some of that money straight back into your business. Reinvesting your profits is literally the fuel for your next stage of growth. If you starve your business of capital the exact moment it starts becoming successful, it's just going to stagnate, for sure. But hey, you aren't just reinvesting cash, you have to reinvest in yourself. To keep evolving, you've got to learn new skills, actively follow market trends, and adapt to changes incredibly fast. The market, it's never going to stop moving, which means your mindset has to continuously adapt to stay relevant. What worked to get you from 0 to 1 might not be the same thing that gets you from 1 to 10. The absolute golden rule here is that successful business owners never, ever stop learning. The very moment you think you know everything is the exact moment your business starts dying. But honestly, for a focused learner, this should be incredibly exciting. The journey of growth is totally continuous and practically limitless. So, let's take a step back and look at the grand equation we've built today. Growing a business from zero isn't magic, and let's be real, it certainly isn't easy. But as we've explored throughout this explainer, taking a small idea and adding patience, hard work, and determination, well, that equals a successful business. It's a formula that has been proven time and time again by those who are actually willing to put their heads down and follow these 5 steps. We've seen the blueprint, we know the steps, from finding crystal clarity to knowing your true audience, building that digital trust, maintaining stellar quality day in and day out, and ceaselessly learning. The path from zero is laid out right in front of you. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. With patience and hard work, what will your small idea become? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this empowers you to take that very first step. See you next time.